Right, good morning everyone and welcome back to the Average Golfer YouTube channel. I'm an average golfer just like you, and I review products that, well, stir a bit of interest, products that I think can perhaps help my fellow average golfers play the game a little bit easier, shoot lower scores, and in today's video I feature a product that I think does that, ticks those boxes, but is also at a price point that many more of you will also appreciate. That's a long ball. There's only two products in my opinion that really caught the imagination of, well, this average golfer at least anyway, in the last couple of years. One of them being these things, and that's a mini driver. And that's not what I'm going to talk about in today's video. Now, the mini driver debate will continue to go on. Is it real? Does it really help golfers? But I think it has characteristics that certainly help you get that ball down fairway and make the teeing off element of the game just that little bit easier. But that's not the product we're going to feature in today's video. It is in fact at the opposite end of the bag, and where we've also seen a significant change in technology over the last couple of years that has you second guessing, have you got the right putter in your bag right now? And arguably one of the reasons you haven't is because of the price point of this new alternative option. Yes, it is of course zero torque, and I don't know about zero torque, they've been all the torque for the last couple of years. This well, revolution was started by Lab Golf. Many again would argue otherwise, but they've certainly brought the popularity of that product type, that zero torque putter, to the mass market, but it came at a huge price point. Others followed suit, and again, in the main, the price point is fairly hefty. They're also mainly focused on what I would call a sort of mallet style putter. That's the large types that we've seen, that most people have adapted this zero torque element into their putters. But today I'm going to feature a blade style putter that is zero torque, that comes into you, in the UK at least, at £239. Question is, what am I giving up to buy a zero torque putter in terms of compromises on quality, any other performance elements that I'm losing out? Why am I now able to buy a zero torque putter at £239? And could it be a putter that helps many other golfers? Roll out, roll out. Oh, perfect weight, perfect line on where I aimed. Just didn't get it quite right in terms of my read, but it went exactly where I aimed. This is of course a zero torque putter. It is a blade style putter. It is the PXG Hellcat. Let it be said before I go any further, I of course have an affiliation with PXG, so those of you who can't handle my opinion about their products, then now is the time to switch off and don't waste any energy in the comment section, because I really don't care. So as ever, my reviews of putters are fairly brief because I think they're a very personal thing. I'm a big fan of zero torque putters in general, because the idea is that they reduce twisting. Now, we can still manipulate things, we can still make these putters miss, we can certainly read things wrong, we can certainly get our pace wrong, so I'm by no means thinking these are a magic wand, but I do believe they make the elements of putting a little bit simpler if you can get used to this technology and how it works when it's in your hands. And there's lots of fans of the channel that constantly comment how a zero torque putter has helped them no end. So what about the Hellcat? Well, first of all, there's some images on screen for you now. It's effectively a chrome putter, very much standard blade style putter that we're very familiar with, and lots of golfers like to use a blade style putter. Now, this is a big deal because traditionally, like I said, there's not been a huge amount of choice in that blade space for a zero torque option. So the idea they brought that to the market, I think, is the first thing and the first point of interest. Now, you've got a standard shaft, but you've got the forward press grip, 1.5 degrees forward press. I'm not going to cover that in today's video, but all hugely important as to how this concept might help your putting. So looks wise, as I said, standard type blade, nothing necessarily to write home about. It's a clean enough product, and if blade style putters are your thing, then this is going to work. I always like the way that they introduced the hosel into the head itself, Very unusual. It looks from the address position as though it's a center shafted putter, where in fact it's a heel shafted putter, but there's it's that sort of the way in which the weight has been shifted to make this zero torque balance that allows this to happen. Now again, it's something that's going to look a bit different on the eye for what you're familiar with, but something that I'm sure you'll get very used to as soon as you start holing putts. In terms of the sound and feel, really like it. Nothing too dissimilar to what I've used from PXG putters before. I found it easy to judge pace from both a long distance and from those short and mid-range distances, so no issues there at all. Love the simplicity of the alignment, and to be fair, the putts you're seeing me hole were sort of straight out the van. First time I've used the putter straight out the wrapper, really confident with it. But again, I mean, I love this concept of zero torque. It might just suit my putting style, I don't know. The question is, why £239? And I talked about compromises you're going to make. Well, I think in terms of build quality, absolutely zero. I think you're getting a whole lot of bang for your buck. I think it's as ever a really well-made product, and at $239, if it's your sort of first step into zero torque, then I think this is a great entry point in terms of that price level without being too significant of an investment going into this sort of £400 plus. But there is one compromise you make in terms of not going for the bat attack, which is the other first option of the Allen was the other option in those mallet style putters, and that's the weighting system. There is no option to fine tune, if you like, that head weight, shift some weighting around, which arguably, you know, that whole zero torque element, it should be all set up and good to go the way you like it. Me personally, I use the bat attack putter right now, and I put some heavier weighting in it to just give me even more stability down, and I like to feel a sort of heavier putter at the end of that putter shaft. So you're not going to get that option. That's going to be something, that's one of the compromises unfortunately you're going to make. It's £200 difference in that option, and arguably, like I said, this is a great entry-level price point. I think all in all, I joked about opinions on my opinions on PXG. I'm always going to say nice things. I like their products, you know, I'm a fan, I don't hide that fact. But what I like about them as a brand is the fact that they've took something that is a concept that is becoming hugely popular, that zero torque putters, and they've built it into a price point which makes it more accessible for the masses. It's as simple as that. This product at 200 quid is, you know, it's very, very different from most options that you've got out there. I love that. Zero compromise in terms of build quality. The only thing, like I said, I would perhaps point out is that inability to change that weighting system in the head. Like I said, dead simple, big fan of the product, but I always say the same thing. My opinion is absolutely irrelevant, because you need to get out there, get into a store, give it a go for yourself, and see whether or not you can get your head around the zero torque concept first of all, and then once you've gotten that, I think your confidence will start to skyrocket on the greens, because I absolutely love zero torque, and I can't see it going away anytime soon. But I know some of you think differently, and obviously full respect to that. Thanks for watching. I'm done. Said it'd be short and sweet. Bye.